why have the Chinese resisted letting their currency move up? For several reasons. First of all, they very much see their long-run future tied to manufacturing. They are now the world's largest manufacturing exporter, and they see developing market share as absolutely critical to their strategy. So in the same way that many large corporations in the 60s and 70s, which first started to move overseas, saw developing market share in key countries as essential, the Chinese are following that model. Secondly, the Chinese have a political system which we all know is authoritarian, and they don't have a residual of domestic political support except on what is based on their economic performance. So the Chinese leadership is absolutely convinced that they have to perform economically, and any moves that would threaten that economic performance would be a threat to the political leadership. And they will talk openly about this if you speak with them and you're talking with specialists. So why would a currency change be destabilizing? Well, it could be destabilizing for two reasons. First of all, it would require a great deal of adjustment. Basically, what's happened is that China devalued its currency in 1994, 3 years before the 97 financial crisis. And they kept the currency basically constant between 94 and 2005. Then between 2005 and 2008, they let it move up by about a total of 14%. But since 2008, they basically kept it constant, even though there has been great pressure on them to let the currency rise. Now, what this means is that they consider stability inside the country and not making adjustments. That's the most important element, not making adjustments. The sort of paramount objective that they have. Now, the Chinese have had, referring to our prior speaker, a major stimulus program. And in the long run, they say that they are willing to try to increase consumption domestically. But they still have, among large countries, the highest savings rate of any large country. And Chinese save somewhere between 35 and 45% of their income. And no other semi-industrialized country saves anywhere near that level. And those savings allow the government to make these policy choices that I've defined. Now, why has the rest of the world accepted this? We've accepted it because, as I mentioned earlier, the cheap imports are an advantage in a period, certainly when there was rapid economic growth in the early 2000 period. However, since the onset of the financial crisis in 2007, the focus of the major importing countries, the major industrial countries, has been worries about deflation, not inflation. So as deflation became a principal concern, then the question of the prices of Chinese goods became less acceptable to those countries, and you've seen a higher level of debate about this.